Welcome back to Panda's Pad. Tonight we'll be looking at our first model. This one, the Mybuild Mecha Frame 5020, came out in 2022 as part of the US Army line, or just the Army line in general. They do a lot of sci-fi and modern militaristic builds. This one is from one of those. This one is one of them. We've already built two of them off camera. Just to give you an idea of what they are, these builds are what I love about them. They're minifig scale, meaning that they are pilotable. So these back here, you can actually open up the top canopy. Ooh, don't fall over. You can open up the top canopy and pull the chest front. And as you can see, you can sit a minifigure in there and maybe arm them a little bit too. But we figured tonight, we're going to be building and adding to these ones. This one is, as I said in the short video, this one is the same frame. Nothing has changed as far as the frame design. The only thing that's changed with this one in particular is the overall chassis on the outside. So some of the parts are going to be different. They are built, and on Mybuild's website they have like a stop motion detailing their sets, which is a pretty cool way of advertising. And they're detailed as to be ones that, when in crouch down position, they get around on their wheels. Pretty unique idea. In practice, though, it's difficult. I see in stop motion it being more viable, but for play-wise, if you're into that or you have a little one that's into that, it's a little difficult. But they are able to not transform, but crouch down into that position to get around. But this one in particular, he looks like he has some sort of SMG blaster, and then he has a rocket pod on his left shoulder. But yeah, should be pretty cool. Another thing to mention in this video, these particular builds with the different variants and chassis, these are their smaller ones. So when I say same frame, different chassis, there are different packs that Mybuild releases. So for instance, these ones come with just a unique weapon. So like this one, it looks to be some sort of homing rocket design. There are another one, the Airborne line, which is pretty cool. It comes with one of these and like a care package. Yeah, so that's all that I got to talk about for the Mybuild right now. Yeah, I already opened it. They're pretty easy to open. They just pop open. Each set comes with just a simple, everything's bagged. The frame is in pieces, as you see there, with the chassis broken up amongst everything else, and a simple instruction booklet. I have had other alternate brand brick kits where they just do away with instructions entirely, and what you get is a scannable QR code from which you would scan it. It would then download, or take you a link to download PDF instructions. And going forward, it is a really easy way for designers and different brands to get their stuff out there without having to worry about too much on the instructions, the physical instructions, and more so just a immediate to your phone PDF guide, and just solely work on the packaging and the product inside. But yeah, Mybuild takes a step further, and they do a full list of instructions. And you can see here we have the frame instructions, and nothing's too fancy about them. The front and back, it details the other ones that are in the line. So we have built this one and the green one, and we are currently going to be building with the Stryker. This was the first one I've gotten this one as well, and I built him off camera. But when we get them all built, we'll post them up together and have them do a little action scene. But the instructions are pretty self-explanatory. They are a little, like they do tell you, left arm, left leg, right leg, but it is kind of, it can be easy to get them confused. So setting them off to the side in a way that you can help remember is good. But it has you step by step walk through, assemble the frame first, and then once you have the skeleton frame, you then start with each individual segment of the frame and adding on its armor plating to build up your unique chassis. Yeah. I will skip ahead. You can see that you assemble the front and back of the chassis, as well as the headpiece and cockpit for which the pilot would sit into. I think my favorite part of these Mybuild frames so far are the armaments to them, and how you can there's like a little ball connector here, and each of the armaments as well as the mech arms all have these little ball joints, and you can connect to them to hold them as shown here, or you can rack them on the back, which is pretty cool. And for a stop motion, it's really cool to like showcase that. So when we're done, it'll be looking like this, which is pretty cool. I like the different variants. These are some other models. These are the care package ones I talked about. Same frame. They got more to them, like the special ops. The care packages comes with different armaments for each one of them. Let's get to it. And there we go. That concludes tonight's video. So far, I mean, it was a pretty fun mech to build. Some pieces that didn't necessarily go well on others worked better for this one. For instance, these, I'm assuming like smoke layer or flare launchers, actually went on pretty smooth. There wasn't any like pieces rubbing up against other ones or having any issues staying on, which has been nice. These back here had a few of those issues, and it could just be the molding. Molding not being particularly like perfect, which is fine. There's other few details to the cockpit or head portion. The parts actually went on a lot smoother than they had on the other ones. So for instance, the other ones, the side paneling here, went on pretty easily, except for the fact that they're also very fragile. But this one seemed to go on pretty smoothly without any hiccups or issues. The overall outer design of this mech is quite nice. A lot thicker bodied than the other ones, which I do appreciate. At least I believe. Oh no, they're the same. They're the same actually. So like the part I was about to comment on was like this portion here, having more bulk up here, helping it to hold together. Hold together. But I think the other ones are also that way. If I believe, yes, they also have the bulk on the back, which is good as it helps the stability of the mech overall. Oh, he lost his firearm. What is also unique about each one of these builds is they come with like a signature weapon. So this one looks to be either a standard boxed AR or a light machine gun by the looks of it, because there's the magazine. But these can be stored on the back of the mechs, as seen here. So currently the rocket pod I have deployed. Oh, I had it deployed, but it's on a little ball joint. So it just comes and readies itself right there, and then you can tuck it back away for storage. And those little hooks are these pins here, and you can stick the AR back here if you wanted to. It has a little connecting point here, and it clips onto the back, as shown here, and then it flips around. I did have a mech of the same line. It was the Special Ops version. I wanted that care package just to be able to sling on his back like a double bag, and so I rigged it to where I could do so. And I'll show that in another video. It was really, really well how that turned out. But overall, fun build. And if you were curious, these are the basic frames, and what's really cool about Mybuild is they don't let creativity stop with just their sets. If you wanted to, say, redesign or have a particular theme for like an army building thing, color patterns, camos, and everything, you can do that. I will link a website. I'll link their website in the video, because they have an awesome add-ons page that includes frames, spare parts, different parts to make different rigs. Rigs is in like hand setups, or you can create your own setups as well. But they offer a huge quantity and options for making your own chassis if you so choose. They also have another mech, which I have yet to get, which is a Scorpion. So if you don't want, say, this particular frame here in the back, if I flip to it, if you don't want this particular frame, they do make one that's the body of a Scorpion that allows for a person to ride in a cockpit. So if you wanted to create an army based on some like sand desert unit, you could do that, and they are really cool. They do make a bigger version of these base mechs here. Haven't got my hands on one yet, so I'm not entirely sure if it's gonna be the same frame here or if it's a bulkier frame, because the bigger version is pretty heavy duty. It's heavily armored. It's got a lot of armament too. But I am curious to check out the other mechs they have. I have a few on hand. I'll be doing videos on those as well, like this guy here. He's a newer model of one that I already own, and that came out a few years ago. So I'm curious to see what new details they've added to them, and then I'll do a side-by-side comparison of the original model and the newer one to see if it's worth something to pick up. I also have some over here that I'm going to be doing videos on later on that dip more into the sci-fi realm other than the modern, futuristic, modern military versions. But yeah, that concludes the video. Again, this is Panda's Pad. Thanks for coming and chilling out. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your night. Peace.